Hello, Recapped Mystery here. Welcome back. Today, I'm going to explain an American science fiction action film, Logan's Run. Watch out and take care. The film's plot is set in the year 2274. The Earth has been destroyed by a Holocaust, and the survivors live in a utopian domed metropolis. The city dwells in an idyllic society where there is little to no work and people are free to pursue all of life's pleasures. There are no human leaders in the city, which is administered by computerized servo mechanisms. Because humans are not permitted to reproduce sexually, the computer handles all elements of life, including reproduction. However, there is a catch. A person can only live for 30 years before being terminated through the carousel ceremony. This rule was enforced using computerized servo mechanisms in order to regulate and maintain the population. However, they have led the locals to believe that those who are killed in the carousel are renewed and brought back to life as newborns. Some humans, known as the runners, have realized that the computers are deceiving them. To prevent them from fleeing the city, elite policemen known as Sandmen are appointed. At birth, each person is implanted with a life clock crystal in the palm of their left hand to chart their age. As they age, the life clock changes color and begins to blink as they reach their last day. The film's protagonist is a Sandman named Logan 5, who, unlike most Sandmen, is inquisitive and questioning. Logan 5 is in a laboratory gazing at artificially born infants in the opening scene. Logan 6 is one of them for whom he donated sperm. Francis 7, a friend and colleague, gets him out and takes him to the carousel event that month. Several persons over the age of 30 are about to be executed, and a large audience has assembled to see the ceremony. It is notable that the people are dressed in either red, yellow, or green attire, denoting their ages, with red representing the elderly, green representing the middle-aged, and yellow representing youngsters. The Sandmen are dressed in their traditional black uniforms. At the start of the ritual, masked persons dressed in white robes are escorted into the arena and circled around a massive lotus. The platform they are on then begins to move around, producing a zero-gravity zone. As the crowd celebrates, the masked persons float through the air and are slaughtered one by one. When the rite is nearly complete, the Sandmen receive word of a runner attempting to flee by the west gate. They pursue him throughout the property, eventually shooting him off a balcony. Logan 5 examines the man's face to confirm his identification. Before departing, he seizes the runner's things, which include a little metal ankh. A contemporary gadget then vaporizes the abandoned deceased body. Logan 5 is perplexed as to why the man did not renew instead of fleeing, but his companion Francis 7 dismisses it. The Sandmen are granted opulent apartments and are deemed the new society's elite. Logan 7 is drinking in his flat at the end of the day. He summons a female for his enjoyment by clicking a button. Jessica 6 is the name of the girl who is enthralled by Logan's flat. He drags Jessica to the sofa and tries to kiss her, but she rejects him. She doesn't want to be near him since she is mourning the death of a friend who was fired that day. Logan dismisses her concerns, explaining that her friend's contract had just been renewed, but Jessica scoffs, claiming that carousels are deaths, not renewals. Logan becomes dubious of her runner status and inquires about her age. Jessica swiftly confirms her youth by showing him her life clock, which hasn't yet gone red. Francis, who has two females in his arms and is looking to have fun, interrupts them. Jessica hurries out of the flat, claiming that she should not have been summoned. Logan goes to the Sandman headquarters the next day to report the confiscated items from the previous day. There, he discovers that the ankh is a special key that the runners use to gain access to their secret hideout known as the Sanctuary. The computer informs him that over 1,000 runners are currently on the loose and orders him to apprehend them all. Logan, perplexed, inquires of the computer how many of the runners had been revived. When the computer does not respond, he begins to think that the renewal program is a scam. Instead, it instructs Logan to pose as a runner in order to assist them in apprehending the others. He retaliates once more, claiming that the life clock on his palm would reveal his identity. To his surprise, the computer erases his remaining 4 years of existence, giving the impression that he is a runner. Logan complains, But it is in vain since the computer shuts down. Now he only has a few days to live and a goal to complete. He returns home and summons Jessica once more. Assuming she is knowledgeable about running, he tells her he only has a few days to live and shows her the ankh that matches the one she is wearing around her neck. Jessica accuses him of murdering a runner for the ankh and walks out, believing Logan is laying up a trap. When she tells her pals that Logan knows about the sanctuary, it is revealed that she is a member of the runner group herself. They give Jessica the order to finish Logan once and for all. She drags Logan to the arcade, but before she can kill him, he learns of another runner. They both hop into a car and pursue the runner. They find themselves in a section populated by cubs, people considered unable to reside in the main complex due to their wild nature. The cubs surround the two, planning to plunder and kill them. Logan, on the other hand, uses his weapon to chase them away. Logan then uses his scanner to search the surroundings for the runner they were looking for. He locates her in a matter of seconds, but instead of arresting her, he lets her go out of sympathy. As a result, Jessica abandons her plot to kill him and begins to believe he is actually a nice guy. We watch Francis kill the runner they just spared as the two continue their journey to the sanctuary. He has now watched Logan and Jessica leave the cube zone. Logan goes to a medical practitioner to disguise himself, knowing that the Sandman will eventually catch him. During the treatment, however, the doctor receives a call from the Sandman and turns against Logan. He presses some buttons and attacks him with his face-lifting equipment. Logan reacts fast and avoids the machine's onslaught. Francis comes at the clinic and engages in a battle with him, but Logan and Jessica manage to flee. Then they sprint to a tunnel, where they meet the other runners. Jessica's pals do not believe her. Logan is an outlier because a Sandman becoming a runner is unheard of. They agree to let them continue after a nurse from the clinic certifies Logan is on their side. The two are instructed to follow the tunnel to the sanctuary. At that time, a group of the Sandmen arrive, rifles blazing. The pair manages to flee, but Francis pursues them. They eventually arrive at a door that requires the ankh to be opened. Jessica attempts to get hers off her necklace, but it slips into the sea and is lost. Logan swiftly opens the door and walks to the opposite side. When Francis comes after them, he discovers Jessica's ankh and continues his pursuit. Meanwhile, a machine lifts the pair to a cold cave. They are approached by the box, an iRobot whose mission it is to capture food from the outside world and feed the city. Logan uses his gun to combat the robot, who is preparing to turn them into food. The cave eventually collapses, and the two flee into the outside world. They are captivated by the breathtaking sight in front of them. They've been so brainwashed by computers that they don't even know what the sun is and refer to it as a hot ball. They sit down to rest after strolling for a time, unaware that Francis has followed them outside as well. Jessica and Logan are tired of walking the next day and are still hunting for the sanctuary. They eventually arrive to a pond and decide to swim in it. Jessica finally succumbs to Logan's advances, and the two kiss. They also notice that Logan's life clock has stopped blinking, indicating that the clock does not function in the outside world and that they can live as long as they choose. Later that day, they come across a tower and joyously approach it, believing it to be the sanctuary. They are soon disappointed to discover that the tower and the structures surrounding it have been taken over by nature. A cat brushes over Jessica's leg, scaring her. For the first time, the couple is captivated by the sight of an animal. They follow it till they reach a classroom with an elderly man inside. They are both taken aback by his wrinkles and gray hair, as they have never seen somebody that old in the city. The man claims to have lived there since the Holocaust and had no idea the city existed. The team also discovers that the old guy was reared by his parents, as opposed to the city dwellers, who are created in a laboratory and grown in a nursery. Francis appears out of nowhere and kidnaps Jessica. He asks, while holding her at gunpoint, Logan needed to go closer so he could kill him. Logan, on the other hand, manages to divert his attention by asking him to look at his palm. Francis, like the others, is taken aback by the fact that his life clock is not blinking. Even still, he refuses to realize he has been deceived his entire life. He attacks Logan, and the two have a battle. Logan ends the fight by inflicting serious injuries on Francis with a pole. Logan then cradles his old friend in his arms and bids him farewell as he passes away. The old guy then orders the pair to bury Francis's body in a grave. He believes he buried his parents in the same location because that is what humans are meant to do. Logan wants to return to the city to convince people that there is more to life than artificial lighting and dying at 30. He believes that if he shows them the elderly guy as proof, the residents will believe him. The three of them set out for the metropolis the next day. The old man describes marriage and family to them as they are resting on the road. They eventually arrive at a hydro plant that provides water to the city. Logan requests that the old guy wait for them for as long as he can before the couple jumps into the water and swims back to town. Logan ultimately informs the locals about the outside world, but no one is interested. Only the Sandmen who arrest them are able to hear them. Logan is led to an interrogation chamber, where the computer asks if he discovered the sanctuary. When he doesn't respond, they utilize a method known as surrogation to tap into his subconscious and download data from his head. The immense knowledge of the outside world, however, is too much information for the computer to absorb, and it begins to malfunction. Everything under the computer's control begins to explode, even the facility they are in. The city has been destroyed, causing people to flee outside in terror. As the domes fall, the people are exposed to the outer world for the first time. They notice the old man and are astounded by his wrinkles like Jessica was. They encircle him and ask to touch his skin. The film concludes with Jessica and Logan waving to the man in the audience, signaling a happy conclusion. The end. Please subscribe to assist the channel, turn on notification and leave a like. Thank you for taking the time to watch. See you again soon.